Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am back with you after a fantastic weekend away in Durham at my good friend Av Bales, IFBB Pro Av Bales gym, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the original gym that he owned, which is called Max Muscle. If you don't know Av Bales, check him out on Instagram. Incredible bodybuilder, British champion, overall British champion 2012, followed up with some 212 shows. Career was cut a little bit short due to gyno surgery and some other stuff, but he's focused on business and whatnot now and is an owner of an incredible gym called Ultraflex Durham, and that's where I was this weekend. Did a little meet and greet, signed a few pictures, got to train with Dorian Yates, training partner of the 95 and 96 to 97 Olympiad, Leroy Davies, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. It was incredible. Kicked the crap out of me, my legs are battered, sitting here feeling sorry for myself, and that was a few days ago. Old school as fuck. I was like, yeah, I won't take anything to failure, we'll just have like a couple of good sets where we kind of go shy of failure. But when you're training with Leroy, that is not a possibility, so it didn't happen. Everything was absolutely gun-ho, but I wouldn't change it for the world because the experience was fantastic and you have to honour that. Alright, so I'm back for the AMA, just looking through some of the questions, and there was a couple of ones in particular that I really wanted to kind of get back to. So we'll just get cracking really and then just see where the conversation takes us. One was about training, and obviously I've been training this weekend, so I thought I'd answer this one first, and this is posted by Azam, and this was posted 1 week ago. Let me just save it for my videos. Okay, so saw online your split routine is 15 working sets. How many warm-up sets do you do? What percentage of your 1 rep max do you gear your warm-up sets up? What percentage are your working sets up? You are incredible, as your recent pictures are phenomenal. Many thanks. That's very, very kind. First and foremost, just let me say thank you for your kind words. Honestly, it means a lot. It really does. When you're this close to a show, you don't really know how you look. Speaking to Jordan this morning, sent some pictures over. I was like, look, you just take full reins. I don't even know if I'm going to have an input now, because I'm at that point where I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how I look. So your words are appreciated, very much so, Azam. So 15 working sets is typically the number for, let's say I'm training chest, shoulders and triceps. I'll do 5 sets for chest, so 5 for shoulder, 5 for tricep, and that will look like, you know, a press for 2 sets, another press for 2 sets, and then a fly for 1 set. A press for 2 sets, a lateral for 2 sets, a different lateral for 1 set. And then triceps is just triceps. I'll probably do like a press down for 2 sets, an overhead extension for 2 sets, and then a single arm variation for 1 set. The way that I kind of implement my increases in weight is very, very basic. Let's say I'm doing a bench press, for example. It will be as simple as 1 plate aside, 45 pounds, whatever you want to call it, 20 kilos, 2 plates, then probably go to 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and I tend to work around 4. So the heavier I get and the closer I get to my working set, the less weight I'll put on per warm-up. But there'll be probably 4 or 5 warm-ups because my press movement will be my first movement of the day. So I would always suggest that whatever your first movement is in your routine, that is the one that you probably want to get the most warm-ups on, because it's the first movement of the day. It's going to lead the rest of the workout. It's going to set you up for the rest of the workout. I don't think you need as many warm-up sets on the following exercises if they follow a similar movement pattern. So let's say I've done barbell bench press to start, and I'm going to move on to like some incline machine press secondary movement. I would probably only have to do 1 or 2 feelers there, and I say feelers because you don't need to warm up because you're warm. So there isn't a set number for every single exercise you do. It just comes down to a little bit of instinct. Does the movement feel similar to what you've already done? Because if it's very different, if the fly feels like cold when you're doing it because you haven't done a fly movement yet, start from scratch, warm up as many times as you need to. I think instinct in bodybuilding is a little bit neglected sometimes for what is written down, for what is expected for paper. Okay, when I go to the gym, I'll always do 5 warm-ups. What if it's a cold day and you need 10? What if it's a cold day and you need 12? What if you're really warm and you only needed 3? What I would say is, if you are someone who likes to journal your training, just write down what you did that day. So if you did only do 3 warm-ups, just write. Felt great today, didn't need to warm up as much, blah, blah, blah. Because that's how Dorian would approach the training from my understanding. He would basically log not only what he did, but like why and how. And I think that's good because that will see you not feeling so stressed if you do something that looks different on paper, because something being different on paper doesn't mean it's less effective or more effective. Rep range in those warm-ups, obviously I'd say start on the lightest warm-ups, you know, around that 10 mark. As you increase the load, maybe shave off 2 reps, so maybe 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, and then working set, whatever you're aiming for, whether it be 6, whether it be 8, whether it be 10. If the movement is a smaller muscle group, for example, like, you know, just a focus solely on the pec fly because you're taking out the multiple joints, because obviously if you're pressing, you're using your shoulder, your chest, your tricep. If you're doing a single joint exercise like a pec fly, then I would probably keep the rep range slightly higher, even on the working set, 15 to 20. And again, the rep range doesn't have to be set in stone, because if the movement is later in the session, you've already done your heavy stuff, there's no harm in incorporating slightly higher reps on a later movement. So just because I say typically a press I'll do less reps on because it's like a multi-joint movement, if your secondary press is later in the workout, or even if you do it third or something like that, there is literally no harm in changing the rep range. But I would say this, as long as you get the heavy stuff done, primarily the first heavy movement, say for chest, and the first heavy movement for shoulders, whatever you do after that can be a little bit more focused on control, quality, squeeze, all the things that people say you shouldn't focus on but are important as well, because that way you cover both grounds. So yes, so to break it down very simply, that's how it looks. 5 sets on each. Warming up, let's say a plate aside is 1/4 of the max works load, so you're going to go a quarter, then maybe a third of your total load, then half of your total load, then 3/4 of your total load, then the load. Hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, do check out my YouTube and just watch maybe some of the training videos. It will just kind of give you an understanding of how I approach that stuff. But yeah, that's how I do it. And then let's say it's back day, I say 5 sets. There might be a little bit more, but around about the 5 sets. Upper back, 5 sets on lats, 5 sets on lower back, so it's 15 total. You just share it between all of the muscles that you're training that day. Quads, 5 on quads, 5 on hams, and then possibly 5 between your abductors and calves, anything that you need to finish off with. That is how I would split it. Second question, another one about training, and I haven't read this one yet, so I'm just going to see what it says. It's currently training back twice a week, one day width focused, other day density focused. One of the back days, I'm doing 2 a day with a different muscle group session in the morning or night. Typically throw in back day number 2 on Thursday afternoon. Would it be more beneficial to train back once a week, alternating between width and density, and not doing 2 a day, or keep what I'm doing? Current split is back Monday, back, Tuesday, shoulders, Wednesday, arms, Thursday, legs, quads, calves. I'm going to just say something already. You're overcomplicating training. Emily, just like, don't overthink it. I can only speak from my experience here, but if you want to train your back frequently, then just lower your volume and hit it more frequently, but hit everything more frequently. Go for a push-pull legs approach, but modify it to suit you. So if you feel that you need to give something a bit more attention, that is paired with something that doesn't beat it up. So for me personally, I know that my arms aren't a super strong point, so my biceps actually train after the legs, so they're fresh. So I will do push day, which is chest, shoulders, triceps. I'll do legs and biceps, and then I'll do pull, which is my back, rear delts, lower back. There is no set routine that is the one or the all, the be all. You need to think about what's best for you, but I would certainly not make something more frequent than everything else and just get annoyed and get confused with where to fit it. I think that's just not needed. I don't think there's a point in splitting your back workouts into width and density. I really don't. I think just have a really good back session. If you want to throw in one exercise additionally, like a pull down or something, then why don't throw that before you do, I don't know, maybe your RDLs on leg day. So if you did your back day, and you do your upper chest, shoulders and triceps day or whatever, when you do your leg day, just to help you brace and feel comfortable, maybe just do a couple of sets of pull down before you do your RDLs. But even then, I still don't think that's necessary. I think the days of getting too specific with workouts are coming to an end, and just making sure that what you do within your workouts feels good is more important. I think the reason get to a point where they feel like they got to do more on something is because they haven't quite found the session that they enjoy and feel for that particular body part. Like, you're searching for what's not already there. Like, if no particular back workouts feel good, you're going to try all these different back workouts. You're going to try a width one, density one. And I know some people preach that. I know, like, even good friends of mine, like Jordan, says density day. But we haven't done that with me, and I wouldn't suggest that for anybody. I would suggest that when you train your back, you do a couple of lat-focused movements, one being a pull-down, one being a row. And then I would say you do a couple of row movements that just focus on purely absolutely moving load and not worrying whether it's lat-focused or just rhomboids, back traps, the whole whack. And the same with a secondary pull-down that works more just in your middle back. So I would say when you train back, pull down with a lat focused, pull down with a mid trap focused, so you're trying to retract. Row, just getting it up, barbell row, whatever, not thinking too much about the lats, then a lat focused row. And then if you want to do a hip hinge, RDL, deadlift, rack pull, hyperextension, feel free. That is definitely my opinion on that. I would just look at that, and if you was my client, I would just say, man, let's just decomplicate, declutter this and make this more fun and more, easy to follow. Again, if you don't agree, it's cool. Speak to some of the others, see what they say on this particular question, but that's something I would say. And I've improved my back this year from doing that, because I've been there. I've tried these things. So just giving you my honest opinion on that one. Dealing with so someone's dealing with elbow tendonitis. He had to stop training. He's lost a lot of weight over it. Have you dealt with this or had any advice on it? Me personally, I haven't had tendonitis. I have had strain, and the only thing I've found that ever really helps with anything like that is staying away from anything that causes it to flare up. There was a time where I felt my bicep tendon was giving me grief. I couldn't even do pec fly, and the reason this kind of came about was because I was doing heavy bench press, which is odd, isn't it? You'd think heavy bench press has nothing to do with your bicep, but it has a lot to do with your bicep, especially on that negative phase. I stayed away from pressing on a free bar for quite some time until the pain went away, and then when I slowly reintroduced that movement, I was fine again. So obviously that's not a doctor's approach to this. You should definitely go and see someone and see if you do something better, but in the meantime, my advice would definitely be don't do anything that aggravates it and think I've got to get through this, because if I don't do this I'm gonna miss out on potential opportunity for development. Like, there are other exercises that you might be able to get away with, I don't know. I wouldn't rely on compression or icing to kind of mask it. Anything being masked isn't a good thing. Avoidance is better than masking, and then obviously seeing someone is better than that. So yeah, I'm gonna fly out on Monday the 12th, so I'll be around for a bit and then take my camera to the States, maybe get some AMA stuff out there, maybe see if we can link up with a couple of the other guys, because I know a few of us are going to be out there, so we'll see what that comes to. Other than that, wish everyone a great day. Any questions on training, do post them in here as always. Any questions on anything, post them in as always. It doesn't have to have anything to do with bodybuilding. You know, we don't give a shit. We're happy to talk about everything. It can be about nutrition, can be about life, can be about emotions. So, you know, I try and cover some deeper stuff as well. The things that are what I would say personal to me, and yeah, that's kind of it really for today. I will see you in a bit. God bless you all. Peace out. See you in a bit, lads. All right. Make sure you sub, make sure you tell your friends. We are always available. I really do wish you a great day from myself.